Podcast. This is Danny M. and my co-host,
Nikki.
Running out of air. And we have special guest, Kashif, today in the building, guys. Sorry we started late. Y'all know how I do it. I have to talk first to the people that are in here before we get started because there's things that we have to organize, negotiate. We negotiated some things behind the scenes. Kashif, you want to talk about the gift card? No, I'm kidding.
It's a mystery. I don't want to talk about it.
He said it's a mystery. Oh my
goodness. Somehow we made it into the studio with red level, what is it? Level 1?
Yeah, we back to level 1 again, y'all.
There's so many things we can say about this, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, seriously, people, we were wearing our masks back in March, April, and parts of May, and then we stopped. Mm-hmm. And then now we're in June, and we're right back where we started. So, what does that tell us? That probably tells us we should have kept the mask on the entire time, maybe? Maybe stayed at home a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah, what's your take on that? No Future song, Mask Off. We shouldn't have done his
mask
song.
Off.
Sensational.
I was going to do a video about it. I mean, I'm serious, though. It's not even hard to understand. Look at what China did. They stayed in for, 60 days straight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think they were isolated completely for 2 months, and the thing is that they isolated the entire city, which actually produced the coronavirus, and then they stopped spreading to the other cities. So that's how it doesn't affect economy too high when you have just restricted one city and other cities are open with the precautions. But we have a really different condition right now. It's everywhere all around, and I think it's really hard to shut down everything because people need to earn money to support their families. And now it's been more than a couple of months that this stay-at-home order was there, and then they suddenly opened, but still the job market is not good. Mm-hmm. People are not fear more about coronavirus, they are fear more about not having the money and supporting their family, because this is equally important to understand that coronavirus hitting our life in many aspects. It's not about our health. Now economy is the biggest challenge. For everyone, unemployment ratio is so high. They need to get something, to support their life
Yes, I agree. I think, but one of the issues, right, with that being said, you're absolutely right. Don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. But because people are so concerned about making money, that's kind of the reason why we're in this situation. If you recall back about a month and a half ago, there was a young lady in Dallas who complained about getting a fine and placed in jail because she opened her salon before time. And as a result, she decided that she was going to take her face mask off, and that kind of empowered people to take their face mask off as well. And now we're back in the same situation. So while making money is very important, yes, if you're somebody who's considered at the time non-essential, then that's where your hobbies and your special talents come into play, and you find creative ways to make side money, aka residual income. Because the reality is, why risk someone else's health who may have a compromised immune system that you don't know about, or he or she may not know about, just because you want to go make extra money? Everybody wants to make money, but we also want to be healthy and happy, and we don't want to be losing family members because you decided you wanted to take in another person to do a wash and press set. You know what I'm saying? It's a bit selfish.
Oh yeah.
That's just my opinion, though.
I totally agree. We may not all agree with the way things, with the mask and different things extra measures we're having to take at this time. But I definitely have do agree and have always agreed from day one that it's not always about you. It's about everybody else. Just like when we're driving on the road, we have to drive for other people. We can't just drive for ourselves on the road. We have to be careful and mindful to look before we get over, because we're being mindful of other people. We don't want anybody to accidentally get into an accident, on our account. And we don't want to get into an accident. We have to wear these masks for other people. Maybe you're like, oh, I'm good. My immune system is A1. All right. But what about somebody else?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. Like they said, the scariest thing about this thing is that there are some people carrying around this virus, get it, it's left their body, and they never exude any symptoms. And that's the scariest thing. And you're sitting up here talking to somebody, shaking hands, hugging on them, and you could have this in your body and could be blessed that it did not show up. It didn't manifest itself in your body, but you still can pass it on.
Yeah.
Whether it's showing up in your body or not, you can still pass it on, unlike any other virus out there that we've ever encountered. Because other viruses that we've encountered, what they say, like hepatitis, if it's not active in your body, then you can't pass it on. This here, it does not matter if it's active or not. You can pass it on.
Yes.
So we have to wear a mask. We have to clean up. We have to wear hand sanitizer. We got to wash our hands like we never have before, unfortunately. You know, and I know a lot of this stuff is uncomfortable, but if you've never learned to serve anybody, this is the time.
Yeah, I think into Nikki's point that whenever we go out, we have to make sure that we take the precautions.
Yeah.
Like it's not you have to have like a lot of things. It's just you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Complete sanitization, hand sanitizers, cleaning your workplace or your home with the disinfectant. That's play an important role, and I think people just don't take it too much serious, or they just not accustomed to it doing every day, and it takes time to people to adopt it. But technically we don't have any option except that right now, to be more vigilant about our sanity, and also taking care, making proper distance, and making sure that we are healthy, and if something comes up we have to report it. So here the problem, like not everyone is so privileged they can afford the proper testing, unless and until like there's the free testing available, these things as well. And second thing, people have a fear that if we go to the test and we may got positive, so that fear also restricted them to go for the testing. What they just think like we are okay, let it be go the way it is going on. And the second thing, like people staying at home and they think like, oh, we are all the time at home, we are not meeting anyone, and we are home, so there's no way we can get it. So, and that's not a case. Somehow, somewhere you go out. So it's not about just contacting a people. It's maybe you contact something which have this virus, like any object, any place. You go to shopping mall, you go to grocery. That's the major, main thing you have to do in your life.
Yeah.
And you don't have a gloves and all this stuff. You maybe touch it, and you didn't realize. And I was just thinking how many times we touch our face daily. We even didn't notice it. One day I was thinking when they said that, well, just for nothing we are touching, and then I realized like it's like many times we just touch our face and our body, and we rub our hair, and like it's pretty normal. But like if you have that virus in your hand, it's one touch is enough.
Yes.
That's
all it takes.
That's all. And it's like even you're not touching, there's not a big distance between your hand and your face. Like you carry your phone, you carry your things.
Yeah.
So like if you get on any part of your body, then there's a highly chances you will get this virus eventually to your body. So all it's need is to be try to do our best and try to ourselves clean as much as we can. Washing hand is the best thing.
Talk a little more into the
So I guess we all are dealing with it, and it's just like starting from March, I guess it's just 3 or 4 months, and the way it's get down now is getting up. I think we have to be more vigilant about our daily life, because now the cases are people are more asymptomatic. That's the biggest threat. Like if someone have any symptoms, so it's kind of an alarm. Even he or she doesn't have it, that virus, they have something else, but it keeps you away. It keeps you alert.
And I think that's the factor that's making people believe less in COVID-19 actually existing, because there's this gray zone, like a really large gray zone. It's like, oh, well, you may have it, but you may not display symptoms. You may be asymptomatic, or you may have it and you're going to get a fever, and then you're going to, it's so many things that are like twirling around in people's minds, because we're reading articles, we're watching the news, we're knowing people physically who have been, tested as positive.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of unknowns. So just because we can't pinpoint or put our finger on something doesn't mean it doesn't exist, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't take precautions precautionary action towards, keeping ourselves safe so that we therefore keep our family and our friends safe. I think that it sucks that we have to social distance. I really do. That's my personal opinion. I've missed out on plenty of opportunities to have events, to socialize with my friends at their parties and their events. I missed out on a few this weekend, to be exact. But, sometimes you just got to do what you have to do. Sometimes you have to make the sacrifice so that whatever it is that's going on can clear the air and we can reach some level of new normalcy. Because I know we'll never be the same again after this.
And that's the thing that I think is unfortunate. And I understand, once again. But I think that's something very clear, very apparent, that people need to become used to and get accustomed to. And even affirm themselves and tell them, hey, normal is not normal anymore. And I mean, in a lot of ways, we don't want the old normal no more. Okay. And of course, we all know what I'm touching on. We touching on the racial issues that's going on in our country right now. We don't want the old normal no more. It wasn't working. So, like, no matter how you look at it as the world today, how we dress every day. I mean, just like when I went out the house today, on my way here, I had to go back upstairs and get my mask. Just like I go back upstairs to get my purse on my phone, I had to run back upstairs and get my mask. The normal is not normal anymore, guys. So get used to it. Suck it up. I mean, it's not normal anymore. It's not. It's a new life now.
It's not normal at all. I mean, I really feel like we're. Have you guys seen the movie The Maze? Have y'all seen Maze Runner?
The Maze Runner?
Yeah. I really feel like we're like at level 3 of Maze Runner right now. If y'all haven't seen that movie, go check it out because y'all like
I think that's a lot of people right now. You feel like you're in these sci-fi movies we've been watching for years and been entertained. And now it's scary to watch these shows.
And there's so many theories jumping around. It's like, COVID's real. COVID-19 is not real. It's like, well, what do you believe? You know that everybody knows at least one person that has gotten either tested positive or gotten really sick behind it. So obviously it's real. You know what I mean? Like, I think we can kind of deduce that it's real.
Yeah.
Sorry if I just squandered somebody's theory that it wasn't, but I mean,
it's
I've
real.
interviewed 2 people that, thank God, they recovered from it. One guy was actually in a 3 weeks coma. That's 21 days in a coma. His name is Christopher Marshall, and I believe it was Fox News that interviewed him after me. After me. And also CNN interviewed him after Fox 4 News in Dallas. So I mean, like, this is a big deal. And the one thing that saved him his life was his wife. His wife made sure that the medical staff gave him exactly what he needed, placed him on an ECMO machine, ECMO machine, if you guys don't know what that is. And I just thought it was an amazing interview. Like, I mean, to actually talk to someone who had never gone through something like that in his life before, a guy that's in his mid to late 30s. You know, he did have some pre-existing health issues, but he's now suffering from a little bit of PTSD as a result, because not only did he recover from, almost dying, but now he wakes up into this transition of Black Lives Matter movement. You know what I mean? And so he's dealing with the aftermath of almost losing his life, and then dealing with all the racial tension that's in the United States. So it's just like, that's why I associate what we're living in right now with Maze Runner, because it's one obstacle after another. But I don't want that to discourage you guys. I want that to find empowerment in everything that's going on. You know what I mean? So if you haven't visited your grandma or somebody elderly in your family, you may not physically be able to go to their house and visit them inside their home. Drop them off something like a care package. Right now, I'm selling a ton of immunity packs. I just gave each and every one of you guys one, because whatever you do, even for the young and healthy people, you can never have too much vitamin C. So make sure that you're doing what you need to do to stay healthy, because you could be asymptomatic and you could pass it on to somebody else who doesn't have a strong immune system like you.
And that is something that just to switch gears just a tad bit, how you said even young people need to keep up their immune system. And it just made me think about how unfortunate they said this new wave, how the numbers are increasing, and they're actually getting an increase in the younger people dying this go round, versus at first it was more of senior citizens dying from the virus, whereas now they're saying that they're having younger people dying
Maybe
now
this is
from
the
this
second
virus.
wave that Kashif was saying. Like,
Yeah, it's something crazy.
What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think you know, now this time I think most of people, like, they are a little more resistant to the virus. So the asymptomatic people are more than the symptomatic people. That's the biggest issue and it's spreading, because when there's the symptoms, even you have a flu-like symptoms, you stay at home. So you stay a couple of days and you monitor yourself and go for the test. And if you find it, so you are not contacting anyone since you got the symptoms. But if you don't have symptoms, you are spending your life daily like the way it is, you know, normal life, meeting, contacting people, even your family members, you know, immediate family members. You cannot get away from them. So that's how you're spreading more with the people, with the families, and the people you just have to see for a reason, your job places. And now this condition is like, it's more dangerous because we never know who have it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they don't, even that person don't know it. So it's not blaming anyone because they simply don't know it, that they have it.
Yeah.
And they got test positive. Even like some of them, I heard that they had it and they didn't know that. And when they did the antibody test, and it's revealed that they had it in the past. So that means they already been gone through it.
Right.
But the problem, it's hard to remember how many people you contacted in the
Oh,
this
absolutely.
time.
Yeah.
Like you cannot make a whole list of that.
Do you think that's the
can make
reason
it.
why they're implementing this contact tracing so hard?
I guess yes, because like they have to find some ways to get it. Like you know, find the people. What I was reading in the news, if someone diagnosed and they're working somewhere like in a barber shop or somewhere, so they're just taking out the list and checking the people who have been in their contact, whether they got it or not. But even it's really hard and it's a little bit practically kind of like an impossible to get it every sector of the job. You know, it depends where you work. Are the companies are sufficiently strong and they have that strong policies? If you go with the small businesses, definitely not. They do by their own.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's a whole kind of thing to figure it out how you gonna be.
Like it's a whole
find
job to
people.
figure that out.
You
Yeah.
really- I think there's a lot of efforts needed, and like it's not like you can do by your own, because you need an experience. You need a guidance. You can follow the policies to keep everything clean, but again, well, it's not that worth it if someone have it and you come in contact. So there's a high chances you're gonna get it, even though your place, your workplace, your environment is so clean, because it's spreading human to human mostly. It's not about the things; it's about the human.
Right. That's crazy. Did
It
you hear
is.
about the man who went to he wanted to see his baby delivered, so he went into the hospital even though he knew he was symptomatic for COVID-19, and he ended up passing it on to the wife, and I don't know if the baby got it or not.
That's crazy.
This was like a month and a half ago as well.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So he wants it. That's what we're talking about right there. You're being selfish, because don't get me wrong. I understand you want to see your baby. I can't imagine being in his shoes, you know?
But we're talking about quarantining for 14 days. I mean, your baby's going to be 2 weeks old.
Yeah, your baby's still.
Your baby's still small.
Yeah.
So be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, come on now. You can't take these crazy chances.
But people are doing it.
I know.
Yeah.
People, because it goes back to being selfish.
Yeah.
That's like,
I mean, like,
my
I know me, like, right now, I work with somebody who's pregnant, and we were just kidding around just the other day saying how, you know, we have been a part of her pregnancy from day one, and how we've been so excited about this new baby, but then it dawned on us the other day, like, we're not going to be able to play with this baby,
Right,
and
right.
this baby is supposed to be like our baby too, as far as we're concerned.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah.
I mean, we've had a whole baby shower. We're going to be at the other the family baby shower, because she considers it like family. We're always together, and it's just going to be so crazy that, unfortunately, no, we will not be able to play with this baby initially. We probably won't get to play with the baby till he's 1 year old.
that's so true.
But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to be selfish,
Yeah.
you know, and impress the issue. I mean, we all understand. Me and my coworkers understand. We're just going to continue to support, and we'll probably have to do a FaceTime with the baby when she
Yeah.
first has him.
I mean, yeah, you have to keep it safe.
Yes.
Well, it's good that you mentioned that, because I wanted to ask you, I wonder how she feels working in these conditions. You know, being pregnant and working in conditions like this is like, that's major.
I know, and I don't think. Fortunately, she's a pretty free-spirited, carefree person.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think she's allowing it to really tear her down. She's one
That's
of those
good.
people who can always stay in like a positive mood. And I love working with her because of that. You know, she's one of those kind of people. So I don't think she's letting it tear her down. I think she's pretty much just having faith that her and her baby's going to be just fine.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot of people who commented on the video that I did this week about this very thing. I want to know, how is it affecting people? You know, has your job been affected? Has your residual income been affected? Sorry. Has your personality, your mood, you know, sometimes people's personalities are changing now. Just because the constant stress, the constant beat down of worry every single day, losing people very close. I've had some friends that have lost their immediate family, like fathers, uncles, moms and dads, brothers and sisters at the same time. It's been a really
tough,
crazy year.
Here I want to add one point to
ahead.
Danielle raised a really good point. Like, people don't realize unless and until they have someone infected, close one in your family. You know what I'm saying? Close one. And most of the time people, they talk like, oh, we checked everyone, but we haven't heard anyone about it, like anyone got it or something. So that's create a perception that this whole virus is things like is a fake thing or something like that. So when someone comes in contact in their family, then they realize how deadly it is and how harmful the virus is.
Agreed.
I did, you know how, so we were saying how this is affecting different people. We got different responses from the video that Danielle posted. I did get a response from someone who lives in a homeless shelter.
Oh.
Yeah, someone lives in a home. And once again, we forget how many different people are being affected by this.
Please.
So this person, these two young men, they live in a they were living in the homeless shelter. Fortunately, they had a family member that they could call upon, because obviously the family member can see that they're making some life choices, better life choices. So they were fortunately able to help them get an apartment. But think about the homeless people who don't have help. Because basically they called on this family member because they were getting scared. Because people in this shelter were getting the virus. So they were like scared, calling this family member saying, hey, we're scared. People are getting this virus. Like, can you help us? He helped them, find them an apartment. Fortunately, like I said, this is their situation. They were fortunate.
Right.
But that's just like we said, just
one case.
Yes.
That's all.
People
like
who are being
1,001.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just so many different people that sometimes we're not even thinking of who are being affected by this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Very true.
Not everyone has that luxury.
Exactly.
For sure. So.
Yeah, and it's just the mere fact too that we're like thinking about the people who are in these homeless shelters.
But it's such a split feeling. I think the nation has. One side of the nation is saying, you're violating my civil rights. I'm not putting on this face mask.
Yeah.
But then you have the other half that's like, no, I'm going to obey the law because I know viruses spread and I want to make sure I'm safe and try to keep others. But you also have a third wave that's saying, well, you can wear the mask, but it's not like the mask is going to protect you from COVID-19 either. You see? So there's just so much gray.
And then
nobody's right, nobody's wrong.
No.
I mean.
But I do believe we stand a better chance if you have something on your face versus
like
nothing.
A barrier, right?
Exactly, like nothing at all. I did see on the news where this scientist, she did like a petri dish with the anchor who was doing the show, right? Who was doing the interview with her. And apparently she sent her, obviously, mailed her the petri dish. She mailed her like 3 different ones, and she was just talking throughout the day, like I'm talking on my mic, for example. And she had the petri dish there, and of course she did it. She talked in front of her with one with no mask on at all, one with just the cloth on, and one with the real mask on.
Right.
And of course, she said, it was surprising for me too, that the petri dish with the cloth and the regular mask, the real mask on, those 2 petri dishes had nothing on them. So that shows us that the cloth is doing something.
Right.
the one, of course, with nothing on was gross.
Oh, wow.
Because it had all kind of stuff in it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you could see all her saliva and stuff like that.
And the bacteria that grows, yeah.
Was on the Petri dish.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it goes to remind us. I was glad that I saw that, because I'm not a big news person. So I was glad that I saw that, to know that these, even if we're just wearing cloth masks, if we want to be stylish with our mask,
Right.
that's cool. But you need something on your face. That's the point. We do need to.
Yeah, and I've been seeing a lot of people wearing absolutely nothing.
It's just crazy.
At Lowe's, nothing.
Yeah.
Home Depot, nothing. And I was blown away.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing, if you don't want to wear it, then stay at home.
Yeah.
Don't. Because you could be walking around with it and you don't know it.
Yeah.
That's our point.
Yeah.
We're not trying to take away your rights. Just be considerate. That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty same condition in other part of the world. The way we got the responses,
Yeah.
you see that it's getting worse in different part of the world. It's not about only U.S.
Absolutely.
The way
Especially
we get
third
the
world
response.
countries that don't
Yes.
have the resources or the money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the biggest problem there too. And even the countries that are highly developed, like in the Middle East, that we get the responses. So they're trying.
I want to
their
read
best.
some too when you get done.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
trying their best, but eventually it's really hard to protect yourself for these viruses. All you can do your best. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. There's also other ways to protect yourself if you don't have resources to go out buying face masks like everybody else, or God knows they even have face masks now that cover the eyes. Like, they're getting really creative with this. We eventually are gonna start selling hazmat suits.
Yeah, for real.
But if you don't have those things, you can always tie like a bandana around, because like Nikki mentioned, which was a very great experiment for you to share with us, because
Yeah.
oh my goodness, it lets you know that it kind of reduces the amount of whatever, spit, bacteria. If you have a virus, it's in your saliva, it's less likely it's going to get on someone else.
Yeah.
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 So any barrier, seems like to me, any realistic barrier, not some see-through cloth that
Yeah.
obviously, it has big enough holes where things can seep through. But as long as you're taking into account that you're being considerate of other people, that's really all we ask. And I do believe they passed a law recently where
Yeah, they
no
did.
restaurant is going to allow you in now without one on anyway.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean-
when I went to the gas station before I got here, it was a sign up saying no shoes, no clothes, no mask, no service.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at now.
And it's crazy. In the beginning, they were shooting people in the head for telling them that, hey, you need to put on a face mask. There were like 2 or 3 shootings here in the U.S.
Yeah.
at Family Dollars, places like that. It
'Cause
was
people were
so
offended.
weird.
And then now,
Yeah.
I know y'all seen the video of the guy who was fighting the guy in Walmart because he wouldn't let him in
I
Walmart
saw
without his
that.
mask
Yeah.
on. I mean, it was funny, but it was stupid as I don't know what. It was, just stupid. I mean, the guy, he's doing his job at Walmart, trying to keep him from getting in.
People
And
are
he's like,
stubborn.
I'm getting in.
I saw it. And he leaped because he was trying to jump on him and he moved out of the way.
I'm going shopping. Did you see that video?
I'm definitely gonna see after this show.
It was Walmart.
Yeah.
And then the guy that was recording was like, oh my God, like, where is he? Just put your mask on.
Yeah. I mean, he really wanted to prove a point. It was like crazy and stupid.
I don't think they let him go in, right? They let him. I can't. I think it stopped. The video
Yeah,
stopped.
it did stop to
Yeah,
see if he
it's
really
crazy.
made it in. It looked like he made it in.
He made it all the way to aisle 3.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, people are just so stubborn.
Yes.
If something is turned into law, obey it.
Yeah.
It's just really that simple.
It's like you want to prove
Yeah.
a point. Like you're above the law. Like, come on now.
Well, we know too much about that already.
Oh yeah. But I'm just saying.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask about some of the other responses we got from the
Oh,
video,
yeah, sure. I was
besides the
going to.
one I had
Great.
stated.
Let me
Yeah.
get to those. So, we had so many people on so many different platforms to respond to that video. So, let me go to it right now. We even had a doctor to respond to the video. So, let me see. Am I allowed to? I won't read the names.
Yeah.
You want me to read the names?
That's
Is it
fine.
okay?
That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay, Kazim has name. Is that right? Kazim? Kazim has name. Hello, it is a good topic to discuss regarding my opinion. COVID-19 is affecting the country's economy more than people's health. For these countries where people live below the poverty line, can't survive for longer periods of time, there should be a collective approach throughout our world how to cover how to overcome this problem. Sorry. I like that because, and I messed up his saying. Basically, what he's saying is that in countries where they're living below the poverty line, which that says a whole lot right there. He's saying that why not bring together all world resources and donate or send or ship those over to these countries so they can mass distribute so that everybody has a fair chance, at surviving this pandemic.
That is so true. Like, and you're not hearing anybody, of course, talk about that. Because these masks, if you know how to make them, they're not that expensive to make.
Miss Kathy Tatum was on the show the other day. If you know how to bid properly with the government, you can get them for 10 cents per mask.
And ship them to another country. You can easily get with someone who can help you.
It's a process, of course, but get with the right people. Yeah. Shout out to Collaborating Voices. I don't know what's wrong with my language today. Collaborating Voices on Facebook. That's a nonprofit organization. She can point you in the right direction to make that happen. I'm surprised more people who have platforms, celebrities, Hollywood. Well, I don't know, anybody.
I mean, at this point, I wish I knew how to make them so I could help and send some to a country because
absolutely
that is crazy.
It should be happening more. It shouldn't be like average citizens that are making median crumbs compared to people that are at the top.
Here in the U.S., it's really no excuse.
Exactly. We're like the wealthiest country on the planet.
Even if you want to say you're poor, you can't afford a mask. Mm-hmm. These masks, like we said, you can go to the dollar store. I seen in Dollar Tree where they're selling bandanas. Yeah. You can go anywhere damn near and find you some type of piece of cloth to put on your face.
I agree.
So here in the U.S., it's not a big issue.
We don't have an excuse not to be helping either. Exactly. Because we help in any other situation. Yeah. We stick our noses in everybody else's wars.
This is something inexpensive. That we could be... So I don't see why, really from day one, that has always been my issue. Why do we have to make this such a poverty issue about somebody getting a mask? Right.
It shouldn't be an issue for them to just have what they need to live.
Yeah, to get.
But that's been the case since the beginning of time, right?
It's huger than it has to be as far as the masks are concerned.
But think about it, poverty doesn't have to be what it is either.
No, amen to that.
Well, I mean, it's the same. We're walking the same line, right? Yeah. So that's all. That's all. That is just one big major issue that needs to be addressed. Yeah. So we want to be real about it and have open, real discussions. We need to, not just us. I'm saying, like the politicians, everybody that's running this country and other countries. Let's talk about the things that matter. You know what I mean? Let's talk about how we've been knowing about COVID since November 2019, and the U.S. didn't start locking down things in terms of international flights until when? April or March or something like that.
March, girl.
Like that should have been shut down, closed last year. To be honest,
is when it got started. March is when they started trying to do something about it.
Exactly.
That's in March.
But by that time, you know how many people flew from Wuhan and wherever else,
that's why New York was so crazy because number one, they crowded already, and then New York is one of the major places that people travel in and out of.
Yeah, international. Exactly. Yeah, for sure. So, they had over 31,000 deaths so far.
I believe it. Unfortunately,
it's crazy. I
mean, it was
so bad they were flying nurses from Texas and all over the U.S. just to go there to help.
Offering them bonuses.
It's wild.
And now they're
shout out to our nurses and doctors that are dealing with all of this. The good ones, because obviously.
The good ones.
I give you my blessings. Only the good ones. It's a lot going on, guys. A lot going on. Told you, it's the Hunger Games / the Maze Runner. So that's a question I want to ask you guys, right? Let's have fun with this. So let's just say tomorrow we have no electricity.
No, Jesus.
What's the first thing you're gonna do, Kashif? If you wake up in the morning, you know what? Nah, that's too easy. If you wake up at like 1 a.m. tonight, early morning, and there's no electricity, it's not because you didn't pay your electric bill. Everybody's power is off.
Well, I think I have been experiencing this thing before. There is a lot of countries, they have like a limited electricity. It's not they get all the time. Okay. So like in Pakistan, I did experience this thing a lot. And then suddenly they turn off electricity. And it's how then you just have to wait for the things done. Mm-hmm. Secondly, if you know about it before, so you plan accordingly. Mm-hmm. That I have to do these things because I have electricity for the limited time. Yeah. But it's so painful. it's so horrible because at the middle of the night suddenly electricity gone. You wakes up, there's no electricity, nothing.
Yeah.
You cannot have a sound sleep, and next day you have to be on a time on your job.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have like in a family, they have a kids and they have like a trouble, so whole night is a disaster. Like so painful. But people try to adjust with that thing. They keep generators in their homes.
Okay.
They can like have their own electricity supplies. Now there's so many ways they find it up that's attached to their homes that provide temporary electricity, not
Exactly.
all the time. But again, not everyone has that luxury.
Yeah,
So,
it's true.
So difficult, and suddenly, especially for the students too, when they have like an exams and they are studying, you never know your time when you have to study, and suddenly electricity gone. It's like how you manage at nighttime.
Yeah, like you already stressed out going to college, and then you don't know if your lights are gonna be on or off. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
But I know here in America, if our lights go off for like more than 3 days straight, I'm talking about everybody.
Shoot, more than 24
in the
hours.
U.S. is we're gonna go nuts.
It's more than 24
That's
hours.
my guess. I'm not saying
Yeah, more than 24 hours, we're gonna go nuts.
because we're so entitled and so used to having these things, right?
Yeah.
Having lights, having the refrigerator door, we open it, it's cold. Having the AC in Texas, that's important. Having the AC running all night long, we never turn it off. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Even sometimes in the wintertime, we don't turn off the AC. I know some people that keep it on. So, I mean, it's just, we're so lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think we
fortunate.
realize that, you know? Yeah.
And I think like the way houses and the infrastructure builds, it doesn't shape like if you don't have any electricity. So what the option would be if they're open grounds where you can go with. Like any cafeteria which is open with it's like constructed in a way that you don't have any heat, but you can have like an air and all these things. So 100% dependency somehow is also make you somewhere somehow in a trouble.
Oh, for sure. That's why I posed the question. Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen later on, so you have to have like a way in your mind or something in your as a B option. So if you don't have it, then you just being on that.
Yeah, so like Nikki, what would you do? You wake up at 1 a.m., no lights. I'm talking about the whole entire community, and then you find out later the whole city of Houston, no lights, and there's not gonna be any more lights until further notice because we don't know what's happened. Besides the good sunlight that the good Lord gives us. Seriously, like
I know it's. I don't know.
These are the things that have been running through my mind.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Listen.
I really don't know. Of course, automatically, you're thinking like telling the kids, stay out the fridge in case.
But everything in the refrigerator is going to spoil if you don't have a backup generator.
At this time, we don't know. Because like you said, it's until further notice.
But I mean, okay, let's say a week has gone by already.
Lord.
We're at week 1, 7 days later.
Hey,
It's too long.
That's like everything in your refrigerator is liquidated.
This is
It's
crazy.
liquid.
How are we eating?
That's what I'm asking you guys. This is a game. What are we doing?
I don't know.
Then we're gonna live day by day. Buy, cook, eat, share with people.
I know my husband didn't already barbecue by that evening.
But do you
of the
think
first
things
day.
are still going to be civilized after week 1? No, I'm talking about everybody.
After 2 or 3 days, it ain't gonna be civilized no more.
Exactly.
Because by that night, we done already started looters.
Yep.
Yes.
By the time it hits
That same morning, because remember, it's still dark at 1 a.m.
Yeah,
so
by that.
once they send that alert on the phone, they're the electricity is off until further notice.
Yeah, we've already started looters.
Because guess what? With no electricity, the alarm system for your home doesn't work.
Yep.
Like it's technically putting you in a war zone.
Yep.
It's something like that. So see how we are dependent to this technology.
Extremely.
And now even people don't have an idea what. If you ask someone like how people in the past managed without electricity, no one knows because now the people who did experience these things, they already I think passed away.
Exactly.
So now we don't have anything in a picture.
Yeah,
we should have something like their techniques.
Yeah.
Like that.
Nobody knows how to build a fire here.
I know.
Yeah.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, like I said, I know by the second day.
Enjoyed the video you just watched? Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications.